Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie. It's finally time to talk bourbons. So this was kind of a hard list for us this year. We focused a lot more on international whiskeys, single malts, and to be honest, we stuck pretty close to home, which meant basically Oregon whiskeys, West Coast stuff.
The number one comment we get on any of these list videos is, that's not available near me. Unfortunately, I think that that's going to happen again here. Although we do have some nationally available whiskeys on this list, we are lumping in American whiskeys, Tennessee whiskeys, bourbon, and a couple of other things. You'll see what we're talking about. So keep in mind that we are the Bourbon Van. Most of what we like is what we find on the road. We like to shine a light on smaller distilleries, regional distilleries. And while this year was mostly Oregon, next year, we're going all over the Southwest, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and then all over the Midwest. Honestly, we're going to be all over next year, so this list could be quite different. But this year, we hope that the whiskeys that we've chosen will give you something to keep an eye out for. And let's get started with a couple of honorable mentions.
So the first honorable mention is from Boulder Spirits. And I would show you the bottle, but we weren't able to acquire it this year. And the only reason I'm putting it on the list is that we received a sample, did a 5-sip for it. I think it was like 2 sips in, and I said, I don't know what this is. I've never had this, but whatever this is, you should go out and buy it. And I'm standing by that. We don't even own it. I've never had it since. 1 sip and I was in, and that's why it should be an honorable mention.
Yeah, this whiskey was Boulder Spirits Cask Strength. It was actually a Lost Lantern pick. And so now we keep our eyes open for Lost Lantern products. We keep our eyes open for Boulder Spirits. And that is really one of our most anticipated distilleries that we'd like to visit in the coming year is Boulder Spirits. We hope to see you all this year.
So our other honorable mention is Ransom the Emerald.
Ransom Spirits in the Willamette Valley here in Oregon, and it's an Irish recipe, American whiskey, aged in a Pinot barrel, all over the place. All I know is that I really, really like this whiskey. It's hard to categorize, and I didn't know where else to put it this year, but I wanted to give it a shout out. This is the most recent batch. We got it when we were in Oregon wine country.
It's just really a hard bottle to categorize, but we really like it.
There you go. That's our 2 honorable mentions. Let's get on to our top 10 list.
So at number 10, we're getting a little weird. And it doesn't get much weirder than this, but in a really good way. It is Branch Point Trit Whiskey Bottled in Bond.
Yeah, this is the 3rd release they've done of this. And we tried a bunch of whiskeys on the day that we purchased this. We were at an event, and of all the whiskeys we tried that day, this was the most striking. And triticale is what this is made from. Triticale is a wheat rye hybrid originally from Scotland. They grow this stuff in the Willamette Valley here in Oregon, and this Bottled in Bond is really, really special. It's the best version of triticale whiskey we've tried, and believe it or not, we've tried several. Branch Point doing some really, really cool things, and their rye is great. Their Oregon American whiskey is great. Their Trit whiskey is very, very good. We had one that was finished in cognac. We really like what Branch Point is up to, and it's starting to grow a lot as a brand, so maybe that one is one that you'll actually find out there. We don't know, but Branch Point, if you get to Oregon, check it out.
Have we ever had a top 10 list without ECBP on it? Probably not. It's ECBP A123.
Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A123. And everybody's going, what about C923? That's the consensus favorite this year. It never came to Oregon. And on this list, we're sticking with bottles that we were able to acquire. And this bottle came out when they still just said 12 years old on it. So there's no age distinction on this one that sets it apart. But we love this whiskey. And if we're going to have a consolation prize, when you're talking Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, you're tasting something that's really great no matter what. And this A123, we loved it from the start. We actually said when we tried this bottle, is anything going to be able to beat this year?
Right.
Well, some stuff did. And it hurts my heart a little bit to have Elijah Craig Barrel Proof so far down on this list, but it deserves a spot in the top 10. Absolutely. Always love this whiskey, and this one's only gotten better as we've gotten down in the bottle. The oxygen's been good to it. I love this whiskey. By the way, I'm just staring at the glass because that's what I got here, and I can't wait to take another sip.
So we try not to put allocated bottles on the list, but it's hard to deny the deliciousness of Stagg Batch 23A.
Yeah, honestly, any batch of Stagg this year
Yeah.
would be on this list. They're just consistently delicious, consistently high quality, consistently one of the best values out there, because if you can get it for MSRP, we bought this bottle for $50.
It is a smoking deal. It's actually a crazy deal.
It is. For $50, what an unbelievable bottle. And I realize most of you aren't getting it out there for that, but if you were, ask yourself this: would it be on your top 10 list? It just has to be. It has to be there. It's a mainstay, just like Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Unbelievable whiskeys that deserve a spot in the top 10 every single year. No difference here. That's great.
This could have been higher up on the list if it was more widely available. We've got Tennessee vibes in 2023. There seems to be a lot of Jack Daniels on our list lately, and it's no different here. Jack 12.
This is a surprisingly flavorful, surprisingly elegant, surprisingly delicious whiskey, because I have to be honest, after that first batch of Jack 10 last year, I liked it. I even think it made our list at the end of the year. But eventually it became very one note. It was banana, artificial banana flavor that wasn't great. I was really worried that would happen here. It hasn't. Just beautiful notes of light brown sugar, that nice woody, oaky flavor that you get on a lot of Jack Daniel's stuff that's higher proof and that's more well aged. But another very nice effort here from Jack Daniel's. They put out so many great whiskeys this year. If I had to choose a distillery of the year, I think it might be them.
Coming in at number 6, it's ASW Fiddler Georgia Heartwood.
This is a fun bottle, and yes, this one is one that we picked. This is our selection, our single barrel. However, we're not talking about just this single barrel. The Fiddler Georgia Heartwood bottles are fantastic. We've gotten to try several samples that weren't our pick, and we loved them very, very much. ASW is a great distillery that is making some great products out there. This brand is surprising us, and honestly, I want to get out east so that we can try more of their stuff. I hear the toasted rye is amazing. One of these days, we're going to get out there, but Georgia putting out some very good whiskey right now, and this is a good example of it. We love this bottle.
So at number 5, it's a shout out to Maker's Mark Private Selections.
Yeah, this might seem a little bit strange because every year so far, we've had one of their toasted finishing series bottles on this list. This year, though, the BEP, at least the batch that we got, was pretty disappointing. We know there was another batch that was supposedly a little better than that one. We haven't gotten the chance to compare them yet. But this bottle here, we bought it locally, and it blew us away. It's a butterscotch bomb, and so many of these private selection bottles from Maker's Mark have been incredible. This one's called Ta-Da Daddy. It's from Trailhead Liquor here in Bend, Oregon. I believe they still have some of that left. But the butterscotch, the oak, the fruit flavors on there, such a well-balanced whiskey, such a beautiful proof point right around 109 there. It rivals a lot of the toasted wood finishing bottles that we've had in the past. And this is the first year that we bought a couple that we really liked. So we're celebrating all the private selection bottles right here, right now. Maker's Mark, we love them, and no, we didn't get a chance to try the cellar aged this year. So this will have to do for our list.
So we've been really digging Texas whiskey this year too, and it's no different. It comes in at number 4, still Austin Blue Corn Bourbon.
Yeah, this Bottled and Bond series, a really interesting project that they've got going on, and we've enjoyed them all. But this one is so unique. Tons of blueberry, tons of dark oak. If you're a fan of sweet bourbon with lots of oak on it, this is a great bottle, this Blue Corn Bottled and Bond Bourbon. The next one that they're coming out with in the spring, I believe, is a Bottled and Bond Rye. Ooh. Fantastic. A lot of times when you're talking about more than 2 to 3 years of aging in Texas, you're talking about something that's going to be a little too funky to enjoy. Not the case here. This Blue Corn Bourbon really stands apart. It's way up on our list. It's a very special bottle. We've been falling in love with this one, and we're probably going to have to get another one at some point.
So I believe this was the first bottle we bought in 2023, and all year we were kind of hoping that it would stand up to all of the other things that we tasted. And here it is at number 3. It's Barrell Vantage.
We've loved this one since day one. The Mizunara French and toasted American oak finishing. It's a beautiful blend, Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee whiskey. From dry oak to sort of sweet, rich, decadent oak, depending on where it hits you on your palate. The aroma's decadent, the finish lasts an eternity. We've tried a bunch of stuff from Barrell in the last couple of years. This one is very easily our absolute favorite. 115 proof, super satisfying, absolutely delicious whiskey. And yeah, that one doesn't just deserve to be on this list. It deserves to be way up on this list. We haven't heard a lot of people talking about this one, so if you've had this, let us know what you think of it, and if we're crazy, we might be.
Coming in at number 2, it's Bull Run 15-year American whiskey, and I might say it's my favorite thing that I drank all year.
Yeah, and you're probably looking at this one going, wait a minute, that's your pick again. What is this, a commercial? No, it's completely sold out. And just because our pick is gone doesn't mean that they don't have more of this. The Bull Run 15-year cask strength American whiskey, it is around. It is a permanent fixture of their lineup. It's just absolutely delicious. It's layered and complex, and the finish is incredible. The aroma is incredible, and everybody that has tried this with us has really enjoyed these flavors. If you haven't tried Bull Run stuff, you definitely need to. They seem to be producing some of the highest quality spirits we've had. Julie will swear by their gin as well, and so much of what they produce is noteworthy.
So yes, this is our pick, and I remember when we tasted this for the first time, we did a live stream where we did a lineup of, I think, 3 or 4 different ones. This was by far our favorite. We loved every single thing that was on the table, but even the people watching the live stream at the time could tell by our expressions, the way we talked about it, this should be the bottle that we pick. And it's even better than I remembered in the live stream.
That's an endorsement. All right, there you go. Number 2 bottle on our bourbon list is an American whiskey from Bull Run.
So I know what you're thinking. Another bourbon van pick, but bear with us because it was the first of its kind. It's Trails End 10 Cask Strength. I fell in love with this.
Yeah, this is one that is noteworthy because it's actually starting to appear on shelves now, locally at least. We may have started this trend, but there are other bottles of Trails End 10 Cask Strength starting to show up out there, and we hope they do a lot more of this. This is really a celebration of all things Trails End. They have their Trails End 10 at 105 proof. They have an apple brandy finished version. They have an 8-year lower proof version. They also have a new porter barrel beer finished version. And we're seeing this whiskey in more and more places. Their brand continues to grow, and we hope that you can find this when you're out and about in the future, or at least online one way or another. Trails End making fantastic whiskeys, and there you go. So Oregon bourbon, that's hard to find. Sorry about that, but that's number 1 on our list, and we have to be true to ourselves and honest about what it was that we truly enjoyed this year. Trails End just topped the list, and it was an easy decision. Ultimately, we hope that you can find this bottle and all the bottles that we talked about, whether now or in the future. Let us know what was your favorite whiskey of the year from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I don't feel bad about this A123. That's better than a consolation prize. That's awesome.
Are you ready for even more Bourbon Van? Join us on Patreon for as little as $3 a month and come travel the world and drink whiskey with us.